Hey friends, it's that time of year again. We're talking my boot collection 2022. Now guys, we've done this 2 times in the past for 2020 and 2021, and I am excited. It's been a big year here on the Gentleman's Journey, and I just want to thank you guys so much for all the support. You know, every time you watch one of the videos, it just means a lot to me. Got a great group of guys down in the comments section and a lot of fun stuff going on. Now friends, I'm out here traveling, so I don't have all the boots with me, but I have a bunch of them. So guys, the first 2, that'll be my Thorogoods. That's the first pair of boots I bought in 2022, and I love the heck out of them. Now, surprisingly, they're not with me, but let me just tell you that wedge outsole, guys, that tumbled leather is so supple right out the gate. I think they have a lot of great uses, and I just love the heck out of them. Make sure and check back that video. It's on the channel. I'll put a link to it and stuff, but the Thorogood mock toes, guys, I love those boots. Now, the second one was the Pemberton, kind of a boat boot. Now, friends, they sent that boot out for me to review. It's really good, of course, if you're working on a boat. If you're walking through the city in a bunch of rain and puddles, it's kind of a neoprene type of boot, rubber outsole, and you know, it has its place. Something for you guys to consider. There's a bunch of other brands out there. I have my eye on the X-Truff. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, but that's another one of those kind of rain boots, kind of boat boot, if you will. But now, guys, I finally move into the next one that I actually have, and it's not a boot at all. That's my Chacos. Now friends, if you do any kind of water sports, I kayak, I own like 4 kayaks and a couple boats. Guys, these are the boots for me. If you're tubing the river, or sometimes we like to go rock hounding, and there's some really good rocks right there in the river. A lot of people go hiking in these and they just swear by them. I got these when I was at Glacier National Park. Of course, I did some 15-year review on my old pair. There's a bit of a different tread pattern, if you will, and I got some color here with the green. These things are fun. They're a staple in my collection of footwear, and I have them with me as I'm traveling now because I just use them so often. All right, and the next one, guys, comes with a bang. This one, I'm so proud of these boots. These are my Frank's Riker AT. Of course, I got the 8-inch. It has green canvas, smooth leather trimming out the canvas, and then the brown chocolate rough out on the bottom. Has the Honey Vibram 100 lug outsole with the logger heel with some trash stuck in the treads there. Friends, these things are out of control. These have become some of my favorite boots that I've owned and that I've ever seen. These things, make sure, check out the Frank's tour video. They were so gracious, and they had us over there in the Pacific Northwest, guys. They had us in their Spokane facility. We did the whole tour. Guys, Frank and Michelle and the whole crew are so awesome. Dear friends of ours now, and I just can't say enough about these boots. I wear them all the time. Love these boots. So guys, this is one of my favorite boots that I've ever got. And then we moved on to these Rossi boots. Now, if you've seen in the past, I love my redback boots, and these are very comparable to the redbacks. I originally got a different boot from Rossi. That was the Barossa, and this is the Endura. Now guys, the Barossa was a little bit more of a slender profile, kind of like the Blundstone 550s, if you will, and it just didn't fit. And they didn't have another size up for me. They just having troubles importing them right now. So I got these guys, and basically what they did is they took the place of my redbacks. Now friends, I'm pretty keen on these. I really think a guy ought to have a pair of this style boot in their collection. I always tell you guys, it's my run and gun kind of lifestyle boot. I can just pull it on and I'm out the door running. You know, they fit very comfortably. They stay on my feet. I was concerned that this type of boot would just slip off, or that some of them are too tight around the stretch part. I was worried about that. Of course, we're looking at the leather. We're going to be doing a 1-year review on this boot, and we're going to be comparing it in this coming year to the redbacks. So you can look out for videos like that. of course, even on like these, we're gonna do some cleaning videos, a 1-year review. So we like to really process these boots. I don't put them out once when I just get them and then I'm done with them, but we like to do 1-year reviews. I know some of you guys are hitting at me to do, I've missed a couple. Guys, the LL Bean boots, I've been traveling in the South. Right now we're in Texas. I've been kicking around the lower half of the country and I just haven't been in the snow enough, even though we live in Colorado, to really give them that good review. That one's gonna be hopefully coming in the next year as well. But guys, the Rossi boots, we're still, you know, I wear these very often, probably at least 5 days a week as I change my shoes, or if I need to just run outside and do something. I'm wearing the heck out of these things, so you guys are gonna get a good honest review. But they're already wearing, and they're not new boots anymore by any stretch. These are awesome boots, so yeah, just right out the gate you can grab these and you're gonna be happy. Now friends, these boots here, whoo, these are gonna start giving those Franks a run for their money, and I'm just being honest. We're gonna do some more videos on all these boots, but these are my Nicks. These are the Urban Loggers. Now friends, this leather is the Buck Brown by Wicket and Craig. This leather is phenomenal. I'm just telling you, it's some of the best leather I've ever had my hands on, and the best leather I've ever owned. I just absolutely am in love with this leather. Whether you get some boots in it or handbag or something, friends, I'm telling you, you're not gonna regret it at all. So this is the Urban Logger. It's 6-inch and it has the, obviously the logger heel, has the Vibram 100 lug outsole. Guys, this thing is just overbuilt. It is absolutely ridiculous. Of course, the Franks, it's all leather, all through the midsole, has a leather shank. These things are phenomenal. I'm rocking, obviously, the boot trees here in these guys, trying to treat them as good as possible, but I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but guys, these things are muddy because I'm out here putting them through their paces. We're at a state park right now, just doing miles and miles of trails, and I'm wearing a lot of these boots because that's what we do here on the channel. We actually wear them, we put them through their paces. They're getting their nice creases. I put out a post a while back. I can't believe all the attention it's getting. It's so funny. I hooked myself on some barbed wire. We were hiking down a trail and I just took a big old chunk out of it. Now, it was like a flap hanging out. It was a flap of leather, so I just cut that off. And there's so much controversy around that. Guys, something I want to say is just, you know, make sure and just live your life. I'm telling you, you know, there's not, well, as far as spiritually, I think there's one path, and I think that's Jesus Christ. But when you get into some of these other things, I just don't think that there's one path to take. So what I did is I just went ahead and trimmed that off, and that worked really good for me, because just like a flap of skin that's kind of flapping back, you don't want that to catch on more stuff and start pulling. So I went ahead, I trimmed that off, and I think on an average day I can't even notice it. So there's a few different routes to take there. If you get into watching some guys like Kirby Allison and stuff, there's this different kind of stuff that you can put on there, and it's going to try to fill that crack a bit. But more or less, what you really want to do is just treat it like skin and make sure that's not going to be catching anything. It wasn't a deep gouge, but it was actually a tear, and it had a flap coming back. So enough about that, guys. Funny little thing that happened there. It happened early on. I was kind of bummed out about it, but you know, that's just the thing about the way I wear my boots is I don't have too many dress boots. I just don't. This is the kind of stuff we do. We go out to the trails, go out kicking around in the dirt, in the mud, and these things are gonna get messy. That's just the way it is. So the last pair that we got this year, friends, is the whites. Now look how tall these things are, friends. Check that out. So obviously you're gonna be wanting, and I'm already getting it, some requests for comparing these boots. So that's gonna happen, guys. We're gonna end up, you know, putting these things side by side, and we're gonna talk about it. It's gonna happen. But these guys, friends, are the original. So Otto White and, you know, his whole crew, and it goes back to the East Coast that White started, and they've made their way up to the Pacific Northwest, and they've been giving loggers and wildland firefighters their boots for a really long time now. So they have all the research and development. Guys, they have men who will come back out of the field, out of the bush, out of the forest, and come and just complain and tell them what their boots need to be and what their demands are, and you know how the boot performed over the years. So there's quite a many years into developing this boot. And you know, I put out in my video, can you still trust the original? And guys, of course we're going to do a 1-year review on this, but let me just tell you right out the gate, this is a solid boot. Nowadays you can find these at some of your farm and ranch stores, and guys, you just can't go wrong. I'm telling you, I really do. Even the Rossi boots, you know, we'll get into my thoughts about Redbacks versus Rossi and just the whole companies and, you know, the leather and all that and whatnot. But I was just talking to some guys in the comments today that if you're getting, here's the long and short of it. Whether you're getting your Whites, your Franks, your Nicks, JK, Wesco, I'm lumping all these guys together because they make really good boots. Of course, you're going to get that limit at some point, something that was overlooked, but these are very reasonable companies and they'll work with you. You know, if you follow their directions on the fitting, watch a couple of my videos and some other guys, you're going to get the right fit boots and you're going to go out there and work hours on end, and you're going to be really happy. So of course it's fun, and this is what the channel is all about. We're going to hash through these, we're going to talk about the ins and outs, but I want to give it a little bit of time, because as we do the 1-year review and stuff like that, I want to just give it, we can talk about some stuff that comes up right away, but I want to get through them a little bit. So just hang with me, guys. Make sure you subscribe, because then you'll get that kind of stuff, but we're going to be talking about that. But here's the thing. Now these boots here, these are my Red Wing Iron Rangers. These were my favorite boot of 2021. Now, I've said recently in a video, if you stop here, and what I mean by that is if this is your price limit, if you stop kind of at the Red Wing level, guys, I don't think that you're doing anything wrong at all. Let me just tell you, I got a lot more boots than this at home, a lot different brands, and I really trust, you know, you can get thicker leather, you're going to get thicker leather, you know, I don't know if you're going to get better hardware per se, but you're going to get different stitching patterns, different kind of configurations, of course different lasting, different welts. But friends, this is a solid boot. So I feel like a gentleman ought to be proud and could stand tall wearing a boot like this and have a lot of confidence that they're spending their good hard-earned money in a good place. That said, I really would encourage you that a lot of these boot makers will make a lot better Iron Ranger. You know, there's just, I think it's worth your added money, and I see the value in that. Now, I've been at this a while and I really do see the value. So I want to talk about my boot collection, what happened in 2022, where we're headed in the future, but just give you a frame of reference. As I get into some of these other brands, I really do think that the $200-300 more is actually worth it, and you're gonna be happier overall. And I don't expect the average guy to have this many boots. In fact, we're gonna talk about, I got a video coming out that we're gonna talk about like the 5 boots I think every gentleman ought to own. You know, you could bring that down to 3, you could expand it out to 10, but if you're just gonna have, you know, a set of work boots, if that's one of the things you need, because every day you go to work, whether you're in construction, in a factory, whatever kind of work you're doing, you want something you can depend on. I do think that you can stand proud in a set of Red Wings, but I do think it's worth it to head over to Frank's, spend a little bit more, and get yourself a boot that's going to be more comfortable, it's going to be better built, it's going to last longer, and you'll really, without a doubt, be able to rebuild the boot. You know, sometimes when you go to do a rebuild, depending on the kind of work you do, this thing isn't really going to want another, you know, if it's a casual wear, then yeah, you might put a new toe cap on or something like that, but the boot might be kind of wore out, other parts of it, so it might not be ready for a rebuild if you're using it for work. But something like these guys, you know, if you're giving it all you got all day long, the outsoles wore out and it's time to resole it, the upper is still gonna be there. It's still gonna be ready for another rebuild. So friends, it's been a crazy year. Always not as many boots as I want to see on this table. We're working with some companies. We're getting some stuff sent out, like the Pemberton boots, stuff like that. Really help the channel, help me be able to bring you guys more boots, more variety. You know, we're not all about just the top quality kind of LL Bean, the Nicks, Whites, and that stuff, but we're gonna do some of the entry-level brands as well. I think I want to see some more Thursday Boot Company stuff popping up. They got, you know, some cowboy boots. They got some different Chelsea boots. I might even get a Chuka at some point. Guys, there's a lot of different stuff, and I'm always keen to know what you want to see on this table at the end of 2023. I'd love to see what kind of boots you want to talk about on the channel, because as I've said, you know, these ones are a prime example of that. I kept hearing a lot about the Rossi boots on my Redback in my Blundstone video. You know, some of these companies speak for themselves, but at any rate, I have a list of boots that I'm interested in. Probably see some more mock toes, some wedge outsoles, some more Vibram. That's definitely going to be happening. I want to get into some V-bar outsoles and stuff like that. I'm going to be coming back to Whites, Nicks, and Franks, trying to get into some of these other companies and stuff like that. So all to say, guys, there's a lot to stick around for, so I'd love to have you subscribe. I just want to wish you the most blessed new year, guys. I just have a great group of guys here, so I really appreciate you guys, and I just pray that God's biggest and best blessings on your new year. I'd love to hear what you want some prayer for. I will pray for you guys to bring that in to fruition, so that this 2023 is just going to be an amazing year, that you have success in your business, in your work, in your home life, with your family and your wife and kids. I just pray some mighty things for you coming into the new year. It's going to be a great year on the Gentleman's Journey, so stick around. Until the next video, guys, God bless, and hey, don't forget to give those boots some love from time to time.